Oh, hi, Internet. I can see you there. My name is Sean of SKFA Designs, and this is part 2 of my Pacific Rim-inspired Cherno Alpha NDK build. So I'm going to be jumping around from place to place in terms of this build, and the next place I need to start thinking about building would probably be the feet. Now, there are some challenges that go along with this. I need to definitely have some height going for me, so, I can stand up high above all the other cosplayers, see over everything, that sort of thing. I am a giant robot after all, but the challenges with this, aside from making normal leg armor, is I need to build some sort of platform that can give me as much height as possible. I'll have a little bit of height on the head, but I do need to put some into the feet so I can stand out. I think I have a few ideas on what to do for that. So I recently took a trip to the hardware store, and I picked myself up a long board about 5 feet in length of a pretty dense wood that I can start constructing a platform out of. Now, as you can hopefully see on this little chart here, I'm going to go ahead and cut the board up so it looks kind of like this into 6 different pieces, and then I'll have 2 different pieces here and here that I can put my feet on, and then these 4 pieces down here will be like, I guess, toes or something for more support on the floor. Now, once I have those cut out, I'll then put them in shape kind of like this. This here is the large board, and then I have blocks of wood that I can then put between for some height, and then I'll have the bottom pieces here, so from sort of a sky view it'll look a little bit like this. And this will give me about 6 inches of height, give or take, and that should be fine. So now, once we have all those pieces cut out, we're going to take each end and nicely trim it off on our handy dandy bandsaw. Truly a tool I love using, it makes things so much easier. However, this is a power tool and it's very sharp and it flings, splinters at your eyes, so definitely make sure that safety is a top priority. Alright, so now we have 12 of these planks cut out, and I'm going to be gluing them each in a stack of 3 to act as the 2 main foot supports as shown in the drawing that was on the screen earlier. I'm just going to use a bit of wood glue, get these together, put something heavy on them, and leave them overnight. Alright, so we have them all glued together. And now they are nicely stacked up on my garage floor underneath this lovely, I think that's like an old-timey weight. And I'm going to be gone all of tomorrow, so they should be nice and set up by the time I come back for them. So in order to make the shin pieces for Cherno Alpha, I'm going to be repurposing some old pieces of cosplay from a few years ago. Now, at a previous NDK, I was the Incursio from Make Got Kill, and I have these old leg pieces that I'm going to try and fit the shin armor to, just to make things easier and so I can reuse some stuff. So we're going to start out with a half of a foam sheet. Using our handy dandy X-Acto knife, we are going to carefully cut off the rims of this sheet so we don't have the puzzled edge. From there we're going to make some measurements. Alright, so now we have 2 of these. And these are going to be the shin pieces. I have scored a line, I know it's hard to see, but if you bend it, it'll give a nice nice stiff edge that will fold around the side of our leg armor. From these, I will fold this around and design the back. Alright, so now we have them coated in foam. However, these only go up 2/3 of my shin, and they need to... These are the shins of a giant robot, so they need to be big and, you know, completely unnecessarily big. They need to go up over my knees and then a bit over my ankles. So I'm going to build a couple of attachments that'll go on and sort of extend the coverage. Alright, so I have built up the top of the knee, and then the covers for the shin and ankle area. And so now I'm just going to add a bit of detail, a couple pieces of an aluminum can, just sort of get some more interesting shapes than just the flat foam. For detailing, I'm going to start with this here MTT can, finished that about 5 minutes ago, and then I've cut out a foam plug to put into the top just so you can't see the opening. I'm going to cut about here and then about here, and then I'm going to take those and place them on either side of the ankle region. I also use other pieces of the can to see if I can detail this a little bit more. So there you have it. These are the complete, well, not completed, I still have a little more detail work to go, but this is the main structure that I have for the shin pieces of my Cherno Alpha build. And like I said earlier, I did take a couple of my MTT cans and I cut off the heads of the cans so I could paste them onto the sides here. This is the right leg, or right shin. And so one of the things is right here on the edge, just sort of as like an ankle, joint type thing. And then on the back here, I know it's really hard to see since the majority of Cherno Alpha's screen time is about ankle or knee deep in the ocean, but Cherno Alpha has some sort of, I don't know, it's some kind of, I want to say it's like a booster or something on the back of his leg. Anyways, so I put the bottom of the can back here, just so I can get that, jet type thing in there. And, I think these turned out pretty okay. They look really nice. They have the right, shape when I'm wearing them. And, yeah, once I have, I'm going to be putting on some foam onto the sides of these. I don't know if I can find, a scrap here, but there's, these two kind of things going down the front and then a little bit up here, but other than that, these are basically done, and I can move on to the upper thigh area and continue building on those. Alright, so I've since taken the blocks out, and they're fully dry, and I also took them over to the bandsaw to sort of get the edges nice and square. It's not for any sort of cosmetic purpose, I just need the edges to be a little smoother just so they're easier to work with. I also took the boards over to the table saw and sort of squared out the edges as well. They were sort of, torn up from the original sawing process. I do also have these, and you notice, they have a slight curve to them. It's not going to matter that much. I am just going to be lining the edges of them with foam, and it won't be as obvious. So, this is what I have, and this is what the basic structure of the feet will look like. Alright, so there you go. They're not glued together or anything. As you can see, the one on the right kind of looks like crap. But this is exactly what I'm going for. Now I'm going to be putting foam on the bottom of them just to give, soften the impact of me stepping around. And then on top of the flat part on top will go, it won't be, my flip-flop, but there'll be a shoe up there that'll give me just a little bit more height off the ground and sort of give my costume the appearance of a, giant robot, because that's the point. So I have markings like these on all the boards, and I'm going to be drilling the holes in where the circles are so that I can put screws in so I can get this whole thing tightened together. So there you go, I have them all screwed together, and now, so that my feet don't just fall off at the end of the con, I'm going to cover the tops and the bottoms with foam
See if I can't get any shock absorbent factor in there. I'm also going to screw in an old pair of tennis shoes onto the top there so I can strap my feet in. Alright, so here are the feet since the last little clipping. I've since put foam on the bottom and the tops, and then I added these. I don't really know what they are on Cherno Alpha's feet. I always assume there's some kind of stabilizing rods or something. I know there's an official definition, but I honestly haven't a clue what it is. But I've added them too, and I will continue building. Okay, so I have thoroughly covered each foot in foam, giving it the design of the look of Cherno Alpha's feet. Now, I will do some more stuff later, but for now, they're pretty good. I've also since added some stuff onto the leg pieces, and I think they look pretty good. Once I get like some paint on them, and all the detail just starts to pop, these will look very nice. I just put a couple pieces on the front here, but I think they look pretty good. And all together, the feet look pretty awesome. Just like that.
So that's all for this week, kids. I'll try and have the next installment posted really soon, so stay tuned. If you like this video in particular, be sure to like and favorite, and as always, subscribe so you can see the rest of this project. I still have a few more videos to go. Until the next installment, I'm Sean of SKFA Designs, and I'll see you next time.